Welcome to the Spurs 9501 podcast. From Kane to the Lane, the final say on all things Tottenham. Here are your hosts, Steve, Ray, Cam and Jam.
Okay, welcome everyone back to Spurs 9501. Today we're hosting a special which is called Poch Watch, talking specifically about our old manager, Mauricio Pochettino, and how well he's been doing at Paris Saint-Germain. Jam is it's here with us in Connecticut. Hello, Jam.
How you doing? Good to
I'm
be here.
Cam in Florida. Just finished watching the game, Barcelona versus PSG. We can talk about that in a minute. But Jam, would you just like to give us some facts and figures about how Poch has done in his 10 games at PSG?
So I don't remember the exact numbers, but he's had 10 games, 8 wins, a draw and a loss. Is that correct?
8 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss.
1 draw, 1 loss. Being at PSG, I suppose that's just kind of what was expected. I can't say I've watched enough of his matches, but from what I've picked up, it's he's had some time to, he's still finding his footing. He's had a lot of injuries to work with so far. A lot of bigger players missing. Neymar's I believe suspended right now. Di Maria's got injured in his last match, but he still came good today against Barcelona. He did a very good job, and I think this definitely going to be a big jumping off point for the team.
I think that just to add, from 10 games, 25 points, has taken PSG to second position, 1 point behind Lille. They've played 25 games. I believe they have another 13 to go. No doubt that PSG are probably going to easily win it. The other thing, just to add to those stats, is he did win his first cup at PSG. That I think it was the equivalent of the FA Cup or the League Cup.
The League Cup, I believe. Yeah,
the League Cup. So at least he's got a trophy.
When he got there, they were already in the final, so all he did have to do was just put the team out, I guess. Mm-hmm. But you still have to do more. I guess, that's debatable at that point. I'd say
it's interesting. He's taken, I believe, his whole team that were at Tottenham over to PSG, and now he's playing with some of the world's best players. Today, let's just have a quick chat then about the game today. PSG, the way they played, I haven't seen them very much, but watching them play at Barcelona. 2 things to say from my perspective, Jem. One is that obviously Poch always sets his teams up against Barcelona in a particular way, being the ex-Espanyol coach. So there was always that local rivalry. And so I think his record against Barcelona has been pretty impressive anyway. Secondly, Barcelona obviously are a shadow of their former self, so to speak. And one of the things that I did hear the commentators say that Juventus put 3 past them, Real Madrid just put 3 past them, and now PSG have put 4 past them. And apart from Messi, they looked like not very many other outstanding players, to be honest.
Quite average.
But still going to the new camp and putting 4 goals past Barcelona in the last 16 of the Champions League is something to be. It's special. So how do you feel about how Poch laid out his team, and did you see any similarities to how he played at Spurs?
I saw a lot of similarities. I mean, other than the formation, I think he went out there with a 4-3-3, which just the team he has really calls for that formation, especially when you have a player like Mbappe on your team and Moise Kean on the other wing being super fast. He's got a very good squad. You could replace either one of those two with like Neymar or Di Maria and probably play in that same formation. What I did like, what the typical Pochettino seemed like is a quick press, always there, like a middle press, really that team in comparison to Barcelona's team, it's a superior team. Barcelona's aging. They have a lot of their players who, a lot like Tottenham, probably need to be moved on, and it's just not the same Barcelona team it was a few seasons ago.
True, but one of the things that did hit me about watching the game and the way that the game was flowing, the high press, the speed, the snap back into defence reminded me of our team when we were second against Chelsea, where we were pretty close. and the season when we came third, I believe, when Leicester won it. Those 2 seasons when Spurs were pretty a formidable team. I just remember the way that we played in those days with the speed, the ability, the high press, the quick movement. Nothing like Tottenham today, though. But it looks like Poch has hit the ground running.
Yes and no. I don't know. It's tough to say that because it's expected there at PSG. You always got to motivate your players, and it's new manager syndrome is always good. And I'm happy to see Poch do well. They're pretty much 1 foot into the next round, which is excellent. But like I said, that Barcelona team was not the same Barcelona team. It is Camp Nou. Messi is still on the field. They spent a crap load of money on players like Griezmann. So it's a big team, and it's a big result. But I think in that one match, it really came down to, that was Mbappe's performance.
Yeah. Okay. So he's got his new Harry Kane and Mbappe. Just to add to that, I mean, would you say that this is the sort of things that Poch could do if he had the players? In terms of what he did with Tottenham, he probably took us as probably beyond where we could have expected to have been with the kind of the squad that we had and we have.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's a good point. If Poch had the backing at Tottenham, I feel like the sky could have been the limit. But that's just not going to happen. Whereas at PSG, he will have the support. The team already is there. And I'm sure next time the next transfer market comes around and he asks for a player, he'll probably get it, which is just not something that's ever going to happen at Tottenham.
And would you think that looking at the performance of Poch's team and the way that he laid them out, the way that they moved, I like the way that they moved the ball. There was some really silky little cutbacks and nice little flicks, which Dele obviously likes to do. Could you have seen him fitting into that team very easily?
Very easily, no. I think he would have to work very hard. But I mean, as far as style of play and being Pochettino's old friend, he'd probably get a shout. But I'm sure it'd be very hard to get into that team, whoever you are.
Mm. It seems to me that apart from probably Harry Kane, there is probably no other player in our team that could ever even come close to getting onto the bench.
Oh man, no, not at all. Our team are just. It's so sad. It's nice to talk a little bit something different about than something a little, other than Tottenham. It's nice to talk about something else, in terms of football at least. It's just I feel like I don't want to be living in the past thinking about what Pochettino could have brought to our team as opposed to what needs to change at Tottenham. And we're just 2 very different teams in terms of it's trying to compare us to the Man Cities and the Man United who have the money to build teams like this. And we're just never going to be there. So living back and looking back at Pochettino and what he's doing now is good. And I'm happy for him. And we all have our best memories with him as Tottenham fans. But it's tough. It's not going to be. We're never going to be playing that football again. Not on the Mourinho. Even with a new manager, it's not going to change overnight.
Right. So I mean, the other thing to say, obviously, they've got the players, they've got the money, they've got the style, they've got the speed, they've got the defense. I mean, they look pretty solid at the back. They've got the goalkeeper. Why would they want Lloris? Why would they want Dele? And I mean, the outcasts that they've sent us are definitely outcasts. I can't see Aurier ever getting back into that team. I don't even know how he did get in the first place, or Mora. But I mean, there's an interesting point I'd like to add to that, Jam, see your views on this, is that Poch will probably be at PSG 2-3 years max, I would say, because that's the kind of sort of thing that's how they sort of operate, in which time he'll probably win La Liga, potentially he could win the Champions League. He'll always be in the Champions League. When he leaves there, he'll be going on to bigger and better things. Could you ever see him coming back to Tottenham in the current sort of debacle that we see where we are?
I think Pochettino would happily come back to Tottenham if the opportunity did present itself down the line in the years, and I think Tottenham fans would embrace him with open arms. I would absolutely love to have Poch back one day, especially. It's just sad that it would have to be after the effect of him going off, finding some glory, and then returning back in once he's discovered himself as a manager, I would say. But I would take Poch back in a heartbeat. I would love to have his football here again.
Great. Just one more thing, Jem, which hit me about the match today, which I thought you might find interesting as well, is it was the game of the 2 Southampton managers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you think about that, Southampton, two old managers, manager of Barcelona and manager of PSG, playing the last 16 of the Champions League. Credit to Southampton for producing and creating such managers. And what's your take on that?
Yeah, I was going to say exactly that. It was not just their scouting system and finding the right manager and the right players. It's like how many of their players have since gone on to win the Premier League, the Champions League. Look at all the players Liverpool have recruited from Southampton, and it goes to show Koeman. I believe he went to where was he at the national team before that for the Dutch
national team before that, Everton before that.
Yep, big movements for him, and excellent player. So it's good to see him doing well. I think that Barcelona team needs a lot of work, and I don't know Koeman well enough as a manager to see what he's going to do. But
I don't think he'll survive.
Yeah, I don't think he'll survive either. But it's a tough job, and I don't think many people would survive.
So the other point, obviously, in Southampton, mustn't forget Gareth Bale came from Southampton, and we've taken Højbjerg as well. But leaving that aside, so verdict on Poch, his style of play doesn't seem to have changed. He seemed to be re-energized, and his team play like the Tottenham when he first arrived.
Yeah, I believe if Poch was still with us, that's the type of play, that's the type of style of football we would be playing if he had any of the backing he needed. But
so just on that point, with the current state of the squad that we've got, which is, we are where we are because of the state of the squad, irrespective of our manager. Do you think Poch could have done any better with that squad right now?
With our current squad as it is? No, but I don't believe Poch would have waited around to dispose of the additional baggage that we have around.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, well, which
I think also think Poch would have integrated a lot more of our youth players by now, especially when it's really calling for it. When we have our four defensive players just that forgot how to play football or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good. The other thing I just want to add is that we wish Poch well in his future. I think he's been doing really well. What a great result for PSG today. What a great result for Mbappe. Whether he can keep Mbappe, we don't know because it's his last year of his contract. He'll be a free agent next year, and I think the sky's the limit for the guy. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Any chance he'll sign for Tottenham on a free?
He may do. I've heard he was a big Tottenham fan in his young days.
Yeah, sure. See him probably as Real Madrid or potentially, if he does come to City, I think they'll be dominating forever, right?
Oh my goodness! If he went to City, it'd be scary.
Yeah, but I think that Poch has been doing really well since he left Tottenham, having been our manager, which we paid for him until June, I believe. And I think the next time we talk, we'll probably would like to have a chat about the financial situation at Tottenham, which is pretty bad right now. And maybe it's time for Ennick to think about selling the club to somebody with a bit of money.
Oh, that would be nice.
That would be nice. Thanks for that then, Jam. It was a great photo, and good luck to Poch in his future. And as we always say, come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.
You've been listening to the Spurs 9501 podcast. Stay in touch, continue the debate, and let us know what you want to discuss by finding us on YouTube. Tune in after the next match day for more insight. Thanks for listening.